Hello folks, today is day 79 of my 100-day reality challenge. I've been gone for a few days, but I'm back now. Today's Wednesday, March the 21st, and it's good to be back here reporting again, live from Miami, Florida. I've had a very exciting last week or so. Things have been going really well in all aspects, and I wanted to report on something that I did today that I had been wanting to do for a long time, and I finally got around to doing it. And reason for that was that I read something about it in a book that I'm reading now, and it kind of brought it to my forefront of my mind again. And so I decided this is important to do. And so what it is that I actually recorded a self-guided visualization / meditation for me to do every day, so that I can focus myself spiritually and ground myself a lot more effectively than I was doing before, in other attempts that I had done at visualizing or meditating. So I've done that. One of the reasons that I was triggered was that I'm reading this book that I mentioned I was going to read. It's on the Toltec way, the Toltec tradition. It's a guide to personal transformation, and it was written by Susan Gregg. It's a great book. A lot of the things that I'm reading so far in this book parallel to the law of attraction, because the whole purpose of the Toltecs was to get to know oneself to the level that there was just no incongruences within a person, and no illusions and that kind of thing. So the Toltec way is a way to get to your power, to your energy. And they also talk about that once you reach this form of enlightenment, which is another path to enlightenment, is that you will be, you will have access to whatever you want, and they talk about energy. They talk about really a lot of similarities to what we're hearing as far as the law of attraction principles and things like that. So it talks, and what it boils down to is that every path has the same precepts, the same principles, and in one form or another, they're explained perhaps in different ways for different religions or different paths. But they're all basically the same when you boil them all down. They all are geared towards getting the person, the practitioner, the disciple, to their inner being and getting in touch with their deepest, truest self, their center, their truest self, and living from that center, living from that pure center of truth and on your essence, your true essence of who you really are, and living by that. And that's what this is. It's just another way to read about that and to learn about it. So one of the things that it talks about, the book, is about non-negotiables. People like Jesus, the Buddha, Lao Tzu, they all had non-negotiables, things that they did every day. And by that I mean things like praying, meditation, and all those things, daily practices, which we're talking about doing here on the 100-day challenge. And I have been praying, but I have been meditating in an effective way, I felt. So by doing this recording and reading this book, I'm getting more in tune to that part of my goals that I wanted to, and strengthen and do more things towards. So I feel great about that. As far as my goals, everything's moving along really well. I'm on day 79, and even though I feel like there's certain areas where I haven't made enough progress, I feel like I have made a lot of progress. When I really look at all the things that I've done a lot more than I thought I was going to do. So I feel great about that. One of the other things that I'm going to do is as a part of the daily non-negotiables, which came about from the book, but I had also read Jack Canfield talk about it in the Law of Attraction, something that I heard on the Law of Attraction. I don't remember where now, but he also talks about it. It's a daily practice that he does, that he goes to the mirror and he says loving things to himself. This author here, Susan Gregg, also talks about that. That is one of her non-negotiables, because as she explains that one of the precepts that Jesus talked about is loving yourself so that you can love others, and that is so important for us to do, because our tendency, at least my tendency, is to beat myself up before I acknowledge myself for all the great things that I've done. So I'm going to incorporate this other thing into my daily non-negotiables, which is to at least visit the mirror two times a day and acknowledge myself for great things that I've done for the day, and say to myself, I love you, Guillermo, and praise myself and nurture myself. And we'll see what happens. I'll report on that in a few days and see how that is going. I also implemented a journal just for the law of attraction things. I have been journaling things in my regular journal, but I realized that there's so many things that come up during the day that are just phenomenal for me. There's so many that are happening that I wanted to record more of them as the day goes along. So I'm carrying with me a binder that I put together just for that, so I can have it with me at all times, and because it's just phenomenal. And I think the reason for me doing that too is that I want to draw more to myself. And of course, if we go by the law that the more that we focus on something, the more it expands, I figure if the more I focus on all the things that are phenomenal that are happening around me, the more that will expand. And that is actually what is happening. It is exactly what is happening. So I encourage you all to do that as well if you haven't done it, or if you can do it. Carry with you a pocket journal or something and write down anytime you see something phenomenal happen, because there's just so many things. And also this also helps as a gratitude journal, because there's times that things will come up that you feel like that are just wonderful. Somebody does a favor to you. Or another thing that I just realized too by doing this process is that I may have the opportunity to do something for someone, like perhaps give a beggar $2, or something that somebody wasn't expecting. Help somebody out at an air pump when they're pumping air into the tires and they can't do it. I saw a lady the other day doing that, and I went over and helped her. Just opportunities like that are just there for you. This tool is helping me to do more of that, because I believe that if you are also putting, how should I say, sure, also putting out there events of uncommon compassion, those are the kind of things that are going to come back to you. If you're stopping for an individual and you're giving somebody a helping hand when you see somebody that needs a hand, without them expecting it, you're putting out there into the universe that you're out there to help. And of course, what you put out comes back. And I hope this makes sense, but I don't know if I'm using the right words here, but I hope it makes sense to you guys that whatever you put out comes back to you, and whatever you think about expands. So by doing these actions everywhere I go, I am expanding my energy field and my influence on the things that will come back to me. And of course, it is a joy to do those things. So if nothing comes back to me in the end, that's okay. Just the fact that I'm doing them gives me great pleasure, and that in itself is a reward. So anyways, a long story for something that I wanted to share that I also did, but I just wanted to share with you guys. So anyways, that is all I have for today. I will see you again next time. I hope you guys are doing phenomenal. Thank you for all the comments that you sent me on the last videos. I appreciate that very much. And please continue on your journey. Email me or send me information if you will. And I look forward to hearing your comments and seeing your videos too, okay? Thank you to all you 100-day challengers out there and you YouTubers. Take care. Peace and love. Bye.